All right, Coach Michael Bird. Hope you guys are off to a great Saturday. And I woke up this morning with here in Tennessee with a strong presence of snow coming, and I'm like, man, I got to go do. I got to do something. I'm like, I've got to do something. Okay, so I was watching a webinar this morning when I was doing a cold plunge with Dean Graciosa, and it was a funnel webinar, and it just triggered something in my brain. Hey, Coach, you've got this package your purpose coming up at your lodge on February the 5th and 6th. Why don't you do a 1 hour training on how to package your purpose? To promote that event and to let people take what I call taste the ice cream and give you something positive to do today to help other people. And when in doubt, guys, when you don't know what to do, always do something. When I don't know what to do, I do something. Okay. When in doubt, I take an action. So this morning I had what would be called a kind of inspired impression. One of my favorite subjects in the world is packaging intellectual property, or in essence, packaging your know-how and distributing that know-how to the world to help other people. So I'm like, man, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to map out a webinar this afternoon that people can come to. And hopefully for the people who are coming into Tennessee, to my beautiful lodge, which is 8,000 square foot, sits out about 41 minutes outside of Nashville, that are coming to the workshop that are our students. You could purchase a ticket at coachburt.com right now. If you go to coachburt.com, click on events, go to package your purpose, you will see that you can come to this 2-day event with me. And I'm telling you, it's like going to a master's class in clarity. It's like going to a master's class in how to find your unique skill. Something you should have done many years ago. I think it's one of the greatest regrets that people have in their life is living their entire life and never locating their purpose, never locating their skill, being undercapitalized pretty much their entire lives, and looking back and going, man, what could I have done different? Well, you could have went to package your purpose and allow a guy who's been doing this now 35 years, packaging intellectual property, marketing intellectual property, distributing intellectual property, literally, for in the millions of dollars that we've done this. And I'll show you how we've done it in licensing deals, publishing deals, speaking, coaching, training, leading, strategic partnerships, the creation of new companies. So, I woke up this morning, I'm like, I want to help people, and it's snowing and there's nowhere to go. And what can I do? So you're here at a 1 hour live streaming. I'm here in my home office, and I just want to, it's snowing outside. They said 6 to 18 inches at one point. Thank goodness it's only, maybe I don't know, 4 to 6 inches. So we're here at Package Your Purpose. Okay. Remember, I teach this as a live boot camp at my lodge, February the 5th and 6th. And for anybody who purchases that tonight, while we do this, I'm going to give you February the 4th at the Greatness Factory as a bonus day. You can come spend a day at the Greatness Factory, completely free on me. You can come to Whiskey and Wisdom that night with Todd Duncan, who wrote High Trust Selling. Then you can come out to the lodge on Thursday and Friday and go through Package Your Purpose with me, which is 2 really deep work days on the formula we're going to work through tonight, which is finding your primary skill, something a lot of people struggle with, and then moving to packaging of that primary skill. And then we move to marketing of the primary skill. And then we move to monetization of the primary skill. So it's good to see everybody on here tonight. I see Joanna. I see Diane Hall. I see Renegade Frey. I see Requisite Designs. I see Branding Group. So you guys can comment throughout. I love seeing comments on here. Engage with me tonight. Let's have a lot of fun. I'm snowed in here in Tennessee. Cameron Calhoun, good to see you guys. So you guys can comment throughout the night. I'm streaming out to my YouTube channel. I want you to subscribe to that channel. It's a brand new channel. It's all focused on the big table. All of my podcasts go there. All of my coaching sessions go there that are public. And then obviously behind the paywall is where a lot of our coaching students go, and they have their own portal, things like that. So this is Package Your Purpose tonight. I'm going to do a 1 hour training. This is a preview to February 5th and 6th. So let's get this party started. I was a disciple of Covey, and from 18 to 25, I really went deep with one person. And that one person was Dr. Stephen Covey. And Covey, in my estimation, was a master at packaging content. And it first started with him kind of asking a question like, why are the most successful people in the world the most successful people. And he went to Hawaii on a sabbatical, and he went to the library and he pulled out every single book on successful people, and he put them all across the table, and he began to study each of these books, and he began to deconstruct these books, and then he began to package the habits of the most successful people into one book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And think about taking all the literature that's out there on success and condensing it down and saying, these are the 7 things that most of the successful people do. So from 18 to 25, I'm studying under Covey. And I thought during those days, guys, that I was actually just learning the 7 habits. Okay, that's what I thought I was learning. I'm like, I'm learning these 7 habits of highly effective people. They're incredible. And I'm going to start teaching these to my basketball teams because I was a basketball coach. In retrospect, looking back on what I was really learning during that period was I was learning how to package a concept. Okay, and I was learning how to deconstruct concepts. I was learning how to position by concepts. I was learning how to create a book I wrote called The Perfect Concept, which you can get on Audible. I was kind of learning how to take an idea, an inspired impression, how to package that idea into something you'll see tonight, which could be a book. It could be a coaching session. It could be a speaking engagement. It could be the way I package a real estate play like The Lodge, which we're repackaging to this creator's paradise, this creative place that you can go to. The Greatness Factory is commercial real estate that I've packaged that we're now licensing around the U.S. Our private equity fund, Pitch Equity, okay, which is how we raise capital, or Blue Marlin. Blue Marlin is a concept that I heard another person say and I come up with. So when you think about it, what I was really learning would be very valuable for me later in life, which was how to take an idea, an inspired impression, how to deconstruct that idea, how to package that idea, Dr. B, and then how to market that idea. And I didn't think in the old days a very good marketer. Like, this is a form of marketing. What we're doing here tonight is I have a session, Scott Borough. I've got Package Your Purpose at the Lodge. I want people to come to that because I think it's life-changing for them. They learn how to find their skill, but I got to figure out a way to market it. This is a form of marketing. So this morning when I'm watching that webinar, I'm like, man, I need to do a better job of marketing. I need to get the message out that I have something that could be transformational for people. It could be a place they could have big revelation and they could really, really go do something bigger. So from 18 to 25, I'm kind of studying, and then I'm learning. And then along the way, I come on and I study under a guy named Dan Sullivan, who started Strategic Coach, which was incredibly packaged. And he is a master at coming up with ideas like unique ability and simplifier and multiplier and the entrepreneurial time system. And man, he was just a master of packaging ideas. And I go, I like this. So along the way, I've kind of learned these things. And Covey taught me, we always start with the formula. If you're trying to sell anything in the world, this is a good formula to start with. Is you start with the pain. And the pain here is you feel you're undercapitalized. The pain here is you have a song to sing, but you don't know how to sing it. The pain here is you're watching other people package their past and their know-how and their intellectual property, but you don't know how to do it. There's somewhere in this formula that I'm teaching that you're like, man, I just need to learn how to do this. So that creates a pain point. I'm highly talented, yet I'm undercapitalized. I think I've done something that's valuable in the world, and we all have, right? I'm paying you for your past. Your past helps me to build my future. Your past helps me to build a bridge to my future. Your know-how, all the breakdowns, all the heartaches, all the breakthroughs that you've experienced, all the times you've lost and you've learned something. Okay. But I don't know. I'm just out there in the world doing my thing, man. I'm out there in the world trying to make it big one day. I'm out there in the world trying to help people. I'm out there in the world trying to do something bigger. I don't know that you can help me until you package your past and you convert that past into some kind of mechanism. I like to say that I can absorb, right? Like I can absorb a book, right? I can pick up a book. I'm working on a book right now, as you guys know, called Screw Your Wife. Okay. How to find your skill and find your purpose. Find your skill and find your problem and watch your purpose find you. Okay. Coach Bert and Jana Creel. And, you know, when you're thinking about it, it's like, I want to write that book because I don't think if you find your why, your life's going to get better. I think I can know my purpose and be broke. I can know my purpose and not be motivated. I can know my purpose. And so I've got a message in me packaged in a way that people may like or not like. Some people will probably love it. Some people won't. I got a message inside of me and I want to get that message out to the world. So when you're thinking about it, the pain that you're experiencing is you don't know your primary skill. That's a problem. You don't know how to package your primary skill. I'm going to show you some of that tonight. We won't be able to get to everything in an hour. That's why you really need to come February 5th and 6th to the lodge and work through it, because you're going to have big revelations. You know, you got a skill, but you don't know how to package the skill. Number 3, you don't know how to market your primary skills. And I can't remember who it was. I feel like it was Ed Milet after I spoke at 10X who said to me, if you don't learn how to market yourself, son, you're going to be the best unknown coach in America. Maybe it was Milet, maybe it was Cardone. Somebody of influence said that to me and it got my attention. It's like, man, I got to learn to market myself. I have something valuable, but I don't really understand the marketing game. I never had any like direct marketing coaching. And so I started studying market. I'm like, okay, I'm watching big time people. They're doing webinars. I need to be doing webinars. They're doing speaking engagements. I need to be doing speaking engagements. They're doing pop-up trainings on Saturday. I'm doing a pop-up training on a Saturday. Okay. Now, so for you, you don't know how to market your skills, which leads to the biggest pain and the biggest problem. And Covey always taught us, start with the pain. Where there's no pain, there's no change. The pain creates a problem. Money changes hands when problems are solved. And number 3, bring the solution. If you're sitting down to sell anything to anybody, show them the pain. Make them relive the pain, man. If you could do it, you would have already done it. If you could package your skills, you would have already done it. If you knew how to write the book, you would have already done it. If you knew how to make it a bestseller, you would have already done it. If you wanted to make millions of dollars with your intellectual property, you would have already done it. If you knew how to do it, right? The book over here, Flip the Switch, which was a Wall Street Journal bestseller for me, produced at least 10,000 leads. It created so much momentum in my career. It got me on some of the biggest stages in the U.S. It helped raise my speaking fees. It positioned me as a stone cold killer at Activation of Prey Drive. The book served its purpose, but I had to get a publishing deal. I had to hire a coach to figure out how to do it. I had to follow the plan. It didn't matter how good the book was written, guys. It mattered how good the book was marketed. The packaging is incredible. Okay. So when you think about it, it's like, these are pain points that people have. They don't know their primary skill. They do not know how to package their primary skill. They don't know how to market their primary skill. They don't know how to monetize their primary skill. Okay. So this is the formula. And after coaching all kinds of people, I kept going, this is the problem. They don't know what their primary skill is. They don't know how it's different than other people's skill. They don't know how to articulate it. Okay. So this leads you down the path of being highly talented. You got all these incredible experiences that you've been through. You got a past that would help so many other people, but you're highly talented, yet you're undercapitalized. You're under-monetized. Okay. And I wrote a book on that called 8-Figure Skills Stuck in 6-Figure Vehicles. And that is a metaphor for very talented people that are not earning enough income. Okay. So this leads to what Henry David Thoreau calls a life of quiet desperation, right? What's the quote on success? If one endeavors to live a life that only he can imagine, he meets with success unexpected in common hours. That is Henry David Thoreau. Other people live a life of quiet desperation. Okay. And we don't want to live a life of quiet desperation, folks. We want to leave it all on the court. We want to maximize the talent we've been given. We want to help as many people as we can, because that is that exchange between our skill and their problem. And when they come back and go, thank you, man, I owe you. That gives us a little hit of purpose. In the book, in the new book, Screw Your Why, I called it a purpose token. I've never called it that before. I don't know what made me think about it. It's like I help somebody, and they come back and say, thank you, I owe you. I got a little purpose token. And a good life is accumulating a lot of purpose tokens, because that's internal profit, not external profit. Enough contribution, enough purpose tokens, I guarantee you'll get some real tokens, okay, in the form of cash. But we're going to feed the internal bank account and the external bank account. So we need something to activate this value. Now, let me go back a minute and tell you where this concept of purpose started, because I didn't set out to help people with their purpose. Okay, you guys got to understand this. I was a basketball coach. I wanted to win championships. We won games. I started writing books on all kinds of things: personal development, teams, culture, winning, activation of prey drive. I never in a million years, right, woke up and go, man, I'm going to help people with their purpose one day. I'm going to be in the business of helping people with their primary skills. I didn't set out to do that. It just happened that I got fascinated with it. I began to see it as a big problem. I began to see packaging and purpose as a big problem. And so during COVID, I started doing virtual events. If you heard the story, I was losing about $250,000 a month. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had to lay pretty much my whole team off, and I love that team. I had a great team. I had to lay people off. I had to try to figure out how to be successful. I had to try to figure out how I'm not losing the business and everything I'd ever built during COVID, because all of the events. And this forced me to work a muscle that was dormant, that was latent, that needed to be reactivated. And the competition in me reactivated my drive like you cannot imagine. I'm like, I'm not going out like this. So wherever you are in life, if your back's against the wall, I want you to tell yourself that this is a blessing. Thank you. I owe you. I know how to win. It's going to work a muscle that you haven't worked. It's going to find a gear that you haven't had. It's going to do something inside of you to activate you. So during this period, I'm like, I got to do something, man. So what did I start doing? I started doing a series in the morning. Listen to this, guys, called Fight the Funk. Kelly Burton and Edith Watson. CJ Cassell. I started doing a session. I'm going to go live every single morning, and I'm going to do a session called Fight the Funk, because everybody was in a funk. So at 7 a.m. in the morning, every day, except for the next 21 days, I'm going live every single morning. And I work my way out of this funk. And I begin to do virtual events. And we called the first virtual event, listen to this, Purpose to Profit. This was a 2-day virtual event. And it was about locating your purpose. I had never really studied purpose before. I had never thought about it like that. So I go into the woods and I go, I got to write this content. And I go into the woods and I start asking a big question. What is purpose? Because if you're going to package your purpose, I started going, what is purpose? And I was reading all the books and Find Your Why and Start with Why and Purpose-Driven Life and all these things. And I started coming up with my own definitions of purpose, guys. I started saying purpose is the exchange of your skills and talents and abilities to help another person with their problem or their ambition. And they come back to you and they go, I could not have gotten where I got without you. Thank you. I owe you. And they may pay you in the form of money. They may pay you in the form of love. They may pay you in the form of affirmation. They may pay you in the form of reputation. They may pay you in the form of referrals. That right, there's a lot of ways to get paid, but they come back and they go, thank you, I owe you. And that exchange gives you a purpose token. It gives you a little hit of purpose. Boom. Man, that was good. Boom, that was good. Thank you, I owe you, right? And that hits the reward center and you're like, all right, let me go do that again, man, because that felt good. I want to help other people with my skills. So I did this Purpose to Profit 2-day. I had no idea what I was doing. I had 2 great coaches in Caleb Fowler and Natalia Diane, and they ran this event for me, and we did $1.1 million in sales. Okay. And if you ever go to my office and you see in my office, I got that Russell Brunson ClickFunnels Gold album. I think we did about $3 million in sales through all the events. I did 6 events that year. And the first one and the most popular one was called Purpose to Profit. Okay. And so I started teaching this Purpose to Profit. So it was a 2-day event. People bought tickets at a low price. Then I coached people for, I think, 6 months to a year in nothing but locating their purpose and converting that purpose to monetization. And I loved it. I thought, man, this is the best of Covey and me, the best of Dan Sullivan and me. It takes me back to my roots when I was writing personal development books. And I go, this is awesome, man. I love helping people with this. Well, along the way, I kind of had a revelation. And the revelation was that I could help a person find their skill, which is what the book 8-Figure Skills Stuck in 6-Figure Vehicles does. I could help them find their skills, but I noticed that they really struggled to monetize their skills. And so I started going, okay, purpose. I help them find their skill. I help them use the fundamental relationship, which is the relationship between the skill and the problem. What's up, Mike Little? Okay. Corey Grant. And I help them find their skill and solve a problem. Okay. But I got to teach them how to make money with the skill. And then I started going, what they really need to do is they need to learn to package their skill, okay, and market their skill. And this became what I started called Package Your Purpose. I went on tour around the U.S. on a tour called Package Your Purpose, which I absolutely loved. And then I started going, I want to do this in a 2-day boot camp. So that's what I'm doing February 5th and 6th. And Mike Little, I think he just delivered a TED Talk today, and he is a byproduct of going through that course with me, finding his skill, finding his concept, writing books, speaking, growing his brokerage. I'm going to speak for him in literally a couple months over in Virginia Beach. He's a product of going through this course. Okay. I just finished a TED Talk today, right? Because he went through this course and he found his message. Okay. So what is the formula that we're going to be talking about tonight? Okay. What is the formula that we're going to be talking about tonight? And it's really broken down over the years into 4 steps. Okay. Now, I don't think we're going to solve this problem in a 1-hour webinar. I think you're going to have to do some what Cal Newport called deep work. You're going to have to actually do the work, which is why I invite you to come spend 2 days with me, February 5th and 6th. Go to coachburt.com, click on events, click on Package Your Purpose. And for the people who do purchase today, I'm gonna give you a ticket to come to the Greatness Factory the day before, so you actually get 3 days with me. I think it's $9.97, guys. But it'll be worth, it could be worth a lot of money to you if you can really figure this out. So what is the formula here? Okay. What is the formula? If you got questions throughout, you can post those. I can see your comments. Thank you, Jana Creel, for posting that. What's up, Larry Cream? If you got questions, I can see the questions from Facebook and YouTube over here to the right. So I'd be happy to take questions as we go. This is your training, guys. This is your training. Okay. So good. Diane Hall says she'll be there. Larry Cream, I need to see you at the Greatness Factory, sir. We're going to do it. We're going to take it big. All right. So what's the formula? Write the formula down. For the people that I coach 1-to-1, most of those have had success. They've made money. They're looking for meaning. Okay. They've made money. They're looking for meaning. And here's what they say to me. I want to go help other people with what I've learned. I had a breakdown. I had a breakthrough. I've done this. I've been successful. I want to go help other people and get some of them purpose tokens. Okay. So the formula that we're going to work on tonight has 4 steps to it. And the 4 steps look like this. Number 1, I have to find my X factor. Okay. I have to find my X factor. This is going to be that skill that you have that separates you in a very commoditized world. Okay. Because a lot of things happening right now for all the people who are in the coaching space. There's a creative destruction happening in the coaching space. You could click on Facebook and have 1,000 coaches that you could go to, which is why I've kind of carved out this niche of specialists at activation, specialists at helping people package their intellectual property, specifically for monetization. Because I know people pay thousands of dollars to go through programs. They listen, and it's like they got a book, but they have zero idea how to make money with the book. Okay, I know the people. I know there's 30 or 40 or 50,000 people that have gone through very famous certifications that have zero idea how to make 50 grand with their intellectual property. So the first thing we got to do is we got to help you find what I call the X factor, which is really what Sullivan called the unique ability. You'll hear me refer to this as the primary skill. Until we find this, and tonight I'm going to say the skill and the concept. So if Jana Creel on my team has this, her skill is threat analysis, kind of deconstruction of organizational things. And she comes up with this concept called proximity to power. Then we got to move from finding the skill to packaging the skill. Okay. And you're going to see tonight that could be a number of ways to package your skill. A book is an obvious one. a webinar or masterclass. What I'm doing tonight is an obvious one. Speaking engagements or speaking topics. Series, you'll see me do series like Behind the Grind is a 4-week series around the coffee company we're associated with called Nashville Grind. You're going to hear me come up with some new concepts too, where I got a concept and I'm going to bring it to the marketplace. So think distribution points. I got a skill, but I got to distribute it. So with the Greatness Lab, that's a new company I'm associated with in the financial services space. I'm the Chief Distribution Officer. That means I'm distributing concepts to the world to attract people in the door, to show them versus tell them what we could do to help them. Okay. And that's a financial services firm. So when you think about it, we got to find the X factor. This is your primary skill that separates you from other people. We got to package the X factor. Okay. Distribution points, activation events. We've got to have something to invite people to, because where there's no invitation, there's no monetization. That'd be a great book title for me. Number 3, we got to market the X factor. Okay. And there's a lot of definitions of marketing, guys. One is translating a customer problem into a profit. That's one definition of marketing. One definition of marketing is distribution of a message, or distribution of a message to people that you have a product that can solve their problem. What I'm doing tonight is I'm marketing this 2-day boot camp with me called Package Your Purpose. When I went on tour and did the Package Your Purpose tour, I'm marketing. Now, those speaking engagements are marketing engagements, right? The number one way we get new clients is speaking. Now, I could speak online. I could speak offline. Okay. What's up, Brandon Graybill? Good to see you. Abraham, hello. How you doing? Jay Titan, good to see you. So when you think about it, we got to market the X factor. We got to market the X factor. And how do we market it? Okay, this is how do we distribute our skills to people to let them know that we could solve a problem for them. And number 4, the 4th place, which is where so many people get hung up, is how do we monetize the X factor? Okay, and monetization is the exchange of money for value. Okay, and I have real simple philosophies on this, guys. Money changes hands when problems are solved. Okay, so if I create a concept that solves a problem for people, the book Flip the Switch solved the problem of keeping people motivated, fighting off complacency, 8-figure skills stuck in 6-figure vehicles, solves the problem of people being undercapitalized. I never write a book unless it solves a big problem. Okay. So these are the 4 steps to the formula that we're going to work on. Okay. And I'd love to see your comments. Where do you think you struggle tonight? Is it finding the X factor, the primary skill? We're going to work through that. Is it the packaging of the X factor into ways that people can absorb, right? If you want to raise capital, you got to put together a pitch deck. Like if I want to build more greatness factories or license greatness factories, I got it right. Draw it up as we're opening greatness factories. We got to do an AI image on it to show people what it looks like. That is a form of packaging. Is it marketing the X factor? Or step number 4, is it monetization of the X factor? I'd love to see your comments on this. Where do you think you struggle the most? Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Finding the X factor. That's right. Finding the X factor is the problem here. Okay. Just post in your comments. If you're looking there, boom, 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 boom. Where are you struggling the most? Packaging. Let's give a definition of that. Anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste, or see. Marketing. Remember, this ain't business. This is show business. Marketing and monetization. Activating the X factor. I like that. Johnny Clark said packaging the X factor. Identify my primary skill, threat analysis. Okay, good. All right. So let's get into this, guys. So when you're thinking about what we're talking about tonight, let's just get down to the, as Kevin Elko said, the nitty gritty. Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty of this. All right. How do we find our X factor? Let's start there. And at the workshop, when we do this 2-day boot camp, we're going to really go deep. I'm going to challenge you. We're going to do exercises so that we become very clear in what our primary skill is. When I think about primary skills, here's what I want you thinking. Number 1, it comes from your past. You were born with certain, what Covey called birthday gifts. They were hardwired in you by the manufacturer. You were manufactured. If you go to a car dealership, those cars were manufactured by the manufacturer. Then they add certain things. They add certain software, but you have a hardware that was manufactured in you. It's a birthday gift. The problem is you've never thought about it like this. I got to open my birthday gifts. I got to use these gifts. I got to refine these gifts. I got to maximize these gifts. So in the new book, Screw Your Why, that I promised to have finished, I said by February 1st, it's going to be really close. I talk about the difference between a skill and an ability and a talent. Okay, so I want you to think about it. In the Bible, in the parable of the talents, a talent was a sum of money that the master gave each person, okay, based on their ability. Okay, so I think of it as a skill is something you use to solve a problem. A primary skill is something you use. And an ability, I almost think, is something that was given to you at birth, but you haven't quite found the ability. Okay. And so I look back in my life and I'm like, how did I find my ability? I'm still finding it every day, by the way. I didn't know I wanted to go into coaching. I definitely didn't think I was ever going to be doing what I do today, which is coach people and, do various things. I definitely didn't think like that. I just thought I have a kind of a love and passion for something. I've got a deep curiosity about it. I'm turned on by it. Like, I'm fascinated by it. I want to learn more about it. Time loses all meaning when I'm doing it. I'm like, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, did I find my ability? Did I uncover my talents? Did I use the talents to build a skill? Does the skill solve a problem, which is where the monetization comes in? And you got to think, for 16 years, I felt like highly talented yet undercapitalized. Guys, I never made more than $55,000 a year as a basketball coach. And that was at the peak of my career, working 80 hours a week. So in the old days, I would go do one speaking engagement for 1 hour and make more in an hour than I made in a month. That opened my eyes. That enlightened me. It's like, you do have a skill. What is the skill? Is it activating people? Is it motivating people? Is it instilling something in people? Right? See, I think my skill today is expanding people. It's activating a bigger future in people, which is why we call it the big table. Look at how we package that up. There's no way, being coached by me, you're not going to think bigger. There's no way you're not going to take bigger action. There's no way you're not going to be thinking about quantum leaps. There's no way you're not going to get a seat at a bigger table. There's no way. Okay. So it's like, what is the skill? So is there a difference? And I would challenge you to do this tonight on ChatGPT. Just ask a real simple question to ChatGPT. Is there a difference between a skill, an ability, and a talent? And type into it, this is what I kind of think my talents are. If you had to sum that up into a skill, sum it up for me in a skill. And then, how is this skill different than other people's skill? So I'll type into ChatGPT, what is the real difference between Coach Burt and Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and Andy Elliott and Brad Lee and whoever's out there, okay, and Stephen Covey. What is the real difference? And ChatGPT will say, thank you for this, Coach Burt. Here's actually 7 differences. What skill does Coach Burt have that these people don't have? What do they have that he doesn't have? And just play pitch and catch with it and allow it, right? Allow it to tell you. Jana's a master at this, of prompting it. And when you think about it, if you're thinking about it, it's like it will sit there and go back and forth with you. And it's like, okay, then sum my skill up in 1 word, sum it up in 2 words, but you got to prompt it and you got to feed it something. It's like, I think I'm really good at this. People tell me I'm good at this. I've got a curiosity for this. Could closing business be a skill? Absolutely. Absolutely close it. But there's something you do to close business. What is it? Do you transfer enthusiasm to people? Do you make people relive the pain? Do you paint a bigger future for people? Like, I'm really challenging you guys, right? I'm really challenging you guys, okay, to not think in generalities. You have got to see yourself as a specialist, not a generalist. And you got to pick an area to be a specialist at. You can't be a specialist at 47 things. You don't go to a specialist at the heart, that's a heart surgeon, and he goes, okay, I'm also a specialist at this. I'm also a specialist at podiatry. right? I'm like a foot doctor. I'm also a specialist at this. I'm a specialist at heart surgery. I want you to think of yourself as a specialist that uses a very specialized skill. That's why you would hear me say Navy SEAL versus a baby SEAL. Everybody with me? Navy SEAL versus a baby SEAL. I'm a specialist at ACT. And the way I want you to think about it is it comes from your past. It creates your differential advantage. It is used to help another person solve a problem. Now, what I do is just like I said, pitch and catch with ChatGPT. And I go, man, I think I'm good at this based on all the intellectual property I've created. Show me why. And I actually use that in the sales cycle. If a person is thinking about using me, I actually send them, this is how Coach Bird is different than these 7 people that are out there. And I got respect, mad respect for all of them. But listen, you're different than they are. Where you can win is your differential advantage. So number one, we got to kind of locate this primary skill. Okay. I think the real issue is awareness. I'm having my agents company built to grow. Growth doesn't happen by intention, happens by service. If we're not serving clients, we're not growing. That's true. One of the number one things you can help a person do is find their primary skill. I remember when I asked Ed Milet on a podcast, you could probably go back and find that on YouTube. I said, man, how did you build this downline in insurance that's so freaking big? Like if you walked away with $400 or $500 million, how does that happen? And he said, I helped every person on my team, specifically my leaders, find their talent. Okay, let's go back to, is there difference between talent and a skill and an ability? Okay, and I talk about that in the new book, Screw Your Why. It's like, okay, what's the difference in these things? Okay, so if you were born with certain abilities, right? The parable of the talents said the master gave each person a talent, which was a sum of money based on their abilities. And he said, take this talent and bring it back with interest. Take this and bring it back with interest. And when they brought it back with interest, which means they used it, then the master said, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a little, therefore I'm going to give you more. Okay. And it's like, okay, is that a glimpse into figuring this out? Each of us were given certain abilities. Okay. Those abilities have to be used because they atrophy like a muscle. So I see people live their entire lives and they never find their unique skills. Okay. So what we do in Package Your Purpose is we put you through all these exercises. You have an awareness. I have this skill. It's based on my past. It could be used to solve this problem because you're going to see that you could use the skill to solve a small problem. We call those bluegills. And you can never make a lot of money. The bigger this problem, the more money people pay to solve the problem. I'm solving some problems right now that's like, man, this ain't a big enough problem. This is not a big enough problem. Okay. And because it's not a big enough problem, CJ, it's like I can't figure out where the monetization is. Here's an example. Then we'll move to step 2. Okay. You guys having fun tonight? It's snowing. It's cold. People can't get out in Tennessee. I'm like, let's do this tonight. This is going to be a good training for all of our members. We'll post it for them to go back and watch it in our portal if you're a member. And yes, you get all of these workshops with me if you're a member. Okay. So if you're interested in being a member, just email Jana@coachburt.com and say, I want to be a member. And then I can get all of Coach Burt's training, right? I can go to the lodge. I can go to the Greatness Factory. I don't have to pay because you're going to spend $1,000 to come spend 2 days when for under $9,000, you could literally just, right. You could literally just be a member and get everything. So dollar for dollar, it's a better value. So let me give an example. When I left athletic coaching, Larry, I thought it's very natural. I know how to win championships. I'm doing it very different than other people. I'm using Covey's whole person theory. I'll go back and coach coaches. Okay. And I'll go back and coach coaches. And I tried to do that. Guess what I couldn't find, guys? I couldn't find any money. I mean, it was like selling the Pentagon to get Vanderbilt University to pay me $15,000. And I go, okay, I got a skill. They seem to value it. There's not enough money here. The vehicle's not right. I got to go find another vehicle. Then I started going, I could coach billion-dollar companies. banks, mortgage companies, insurance companies. And I can use my skill to help them solve big, juicy revenue problems. And they don't mind giving me a little piece of that, whether it be 100 grand, 150 grand, 350 grand, whatever. Okay. It's like, I'm going to solve big problems. Then I started going, what if I could coach a company and participate in the exit of the company? Okay. What if I could do X, Y, and Z, and I could get a bigger liquidity event? Because now I'm looking for exits. I'm looking for a bigger hit. Okay. Use the skill to solve the problem. If you don't know the skill, we can't move to step 2, guys. We can't move to step 2 if you don't know step 1. And step 1 is, what is the primary skill? So your homework assignment tonight is going to be, type in ChatGPT. This is what I think I'm good at. How could I sum it up? How is it different than other people? Where's my differential advantage? Type in your competitors. Okay. I'm telling you, I got a whole page right here of how I'm different than all these other coaches. We could use that in the sales cycle, but you need to be able to say, based on my unique past, my unique experiences, I have really developed a specialized skill set, and I'm a Navy SEAL baby versus a baby SEAL. Okay. All right. Let's move to step number 2. I spent a lot of time on that one, but it's very important. Now, step number 2, we need to package the X factor. We need to package the X factor. I wrote a book called The Perfect Concept. Doesn't sell a lot of copies, but it's on Audible. Be great for you to listen to it. It's called The Perfect Concept, because it's hard to sell a bad concept. Okay. Think about all the great concepts: Good to Great, 5 Dysfunctions of Teams, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Magic of Thinking Big. See, that's a great book. Every night before I go to bed, when I'm winding down, washing my face and I'm brushing my teeth, I open up the drawer and I got the book right there, The Magic of Thinking Big, and I touch it and I go, I need to think bigger. Great concept. So packaging is taking your intellectual property, your know-how, and putting it into something that other people can feel, touch, taste, or see. Okay, so this is an example. This is the new book. Look at how it starts. It starts like this. Okay, then I take this book, decide the title, decide the subtitle, get it into my notes, and then I start on the chapters. Now, from this one concept right here, I'll then go, I'll tell Jana on my team, who's our key integrator, I'll say, Jana, I want to do a 4-week series for everybody who buys the book. I'm going to do a big launch, 2-hour training. I want to do a 4-week series, book club. I want to do a Screw Your Why tour around the U.S. to help people find their skills. I want to go on every talk show and podcast I can do. I want to do speaking engagements around it. Okay, this is packaging. Packaging is anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste, or see. Okay, so think of it. I show you how to put it into a speaking engagement, how to put it into a masterclass, how to put it into a book, how to put it into a training, how to put it into an online course, how to put it into, you with me? Like what I show you how to do is package your skill. Okay, part of my purpose is helping people find their skill. Use the skill. And I think I was put on earth to help people with monetization, because so many people struggle with monetizing their skills. And that's part of my purpose. I got to go, how do I package this up in a way that people will pay attention? It's a freaking noisy world. Cynic wrote, Find Your Why. Start with Why. Became a bestseller. All right, there's What Color is My Parachute? Sullivan wrote Unique Ability. The first thing I do that I tell all of my students to do is a comparative analysis. I could use ChatGPT for this. Show me the top 10 books that were written on purpose. Who wrote them? Why did they resonate? How many copies did they sell? And then I go, okay, where do I come up with a concept that would shatter all of this? And if your concept won't repel some people, you want to attract the right people. If you have a message that will not repel some people, I want some people to go, screw that, dude. I hate that little bald-headed dude. How could anybody hate Coach Burt? Right? But there are people who do. It's like, oh, he's writing this book and blah, 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 blah. They're never going to buy anything from me. Then I want some people, the people who are on here watching me tonight, the people who sign up for my programs, the people who read my books, the people who come see me speak, I want them to go. I would go to war with that little dude. He helps me get activated, find my skill, and get a seat at the big table. Thank you. I owe you. Boom. Little purpose token. Imagine a little purpose token being driven. Every time a person says, thank you, I owe you, coach. Thank you, I owe you. Man, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you, I owe you. Thank you, I owe you. A little purpose token goes in that little emotional bank account. You get enough of those in the emotional bank account, you'll get them in your real bank account, folks. That is contribution. Okay, so I got to package it. A good way to do this would be to listen to the book, The Perfect Concept on Audible, okay, and start thinking about your concept. What is your main concept? Okay, my big concept is the big table. How do you get a seat at a bigger table? And that came from Price Pritchett. You know, I talked to Price on Friday. He called me. I'm like a son. He's like a father and grandfather. And so we just had this conversation with each other and just catching up with each other. It's like he wrote Quantum Leap and U Squared, man. Great concepts. So packaging. Think of packaging as distribution. I got to package it up. Now, how do we do it? I come up with concepts. I outline how I want to do this. I'm going to do a 4-week series. I'm going to do 6 weeks. I'm going to do these master classes. I'm going to do these webinars. I'm going to do these things. And then I go to Jana, the integrator, and I say, I wanted to work with Joanna and the marketing team, and I want to package this up and I want to push it out to the market. Okay. I want to push it out to the marketplace. So when you see me like posting, here's my 5 steps to the big table. Download it. It's got a video with it. It's got 5 steps to it. It's my 5 steps to get a seat at a bigger table, which will ultimately become the book. So packaging is very important. Now, why is this so important? I don't know how good you are. I don't know what your brilliance is. 8 billion people on planet Earth. It's a noisy world. I don't know what your skill is until you tell me, until you package it. Pritchett wrote U Squared, and it's 8,200 something words. It's 37 pages. It's a minimum effective dose. One of my most popular books was Person of Interest. We put that book into licensing courses, training courses, speaking engagements. I'm about to roll out that Bradley and I are doing a day at the Greatness Factory as a special event on Person of Interest, the monetization of your reputational capital. Like I am still doing events today on Person of Interest, like 10 to 12 years later, guys. I packaged it into a little book, into a course. We'd certify people in Person of Interest. Okay. So when you're thinking about it, this is so important. This is where we really help you. We can introduce you to the right people, the people who can help you write the book, the people who can do your videos, the people who could handle your social media, the people who could package the book up at an affordable rate. Like most people are like, gosh, I don't even know how to do all that. So therefore they never do it. It's a big mistake. Big mistake. Okay. Now, so let's move. So we go to packaging. Now let's move to marketing. Okay. Now let's move to marketing. Marketing, distribution of a message. What I'm doing right now is marketing. When I go do a speaking engagement, I'm marketing. When I'm sending out a message in the morning on community, I'm marketing. There's retention to my clients. There's marketing to new people. What I'm doing when I'm coming up with something where to go get attention. Okay. So when you think about it, it's like, okay, I always tell people, let's make this simple. To market something, I need an image. I need a distribution point, some way to push it out. I need content. I need an activation event, and I need an invitation. It's that simple. I used to say I need an image, a landing page or something. This is StreamYard. I need an image. I need a landing page. I need an invitation. Simple as that. Everybody see that? I need an image. I went back through my images today. I go, what do I have on Package Your Purpose? Man, I'm going to do Package Your Purpose tonight. I didn't decide I was going to do this until this morning. Okay. I'm like, man, we're going to be snowed in. Nobody's going anywhere. What am I going to do tonight? I'm going to do a live session to promote Package Your Purpose to come spend 2 days with me at the lodge. This is a life-changing 2 days. And if you've been through it, I want you to post in the comments that it was life-changing for you. There's no telling how much money Mike Little will make in his lifetime because he went through Package Your Purpose. Then he went to Rene Rodriguez. Then he got into the coaching. Then he figured there's no telling how much money he's going to make by knowing his primary skill, knowing how to package it. Same thing is true as any of our other students. Same thing is true of Janet Creel. Same thing is true of all the people who've gone through Package Your Purpose, Person of Interest, all of these people, okay? So I need an image. I need somewhere for people to go. I need an invitation. Invitation tonight is join a membership, come to Package Your Purpose, okay? So think of marketing as master classes. Think of marketing as events. Think of marketing as podcasts, although I think a lot of podcasts are more branding. But the best way I'm using podcasts is to do the podcast, get it and put it on my YouTube channel. And if it's really good and the guest was really good, like the one I'm about to come out with Jason McCool, who is the founder of the Greatness Lab, I think that podcast, I can use it to send out to people to market. Hey, watch this, Coach Burke. If somebody's looking at hiring me to be their coach, I currently send out a podcast of me and Rob Luna. And Rob Luna is interviewing me, and I'm sending it out to them. Thank you for posting that membership. I'm sending it out, and I go, watch this. This will be the best marketing. There's no salesperson who will ever explain this as good as this video, as good as this podcast does, okay? The interview I did with Jason McCool for the Greatness Lab or Take the Power Back, I'm going to start sending that out when it comes out. So marketing is all of these things. Masterclass, community in the morning, events, podcast. Now, let me use one more here and I'll move to the final piece, strategic partnerships. The reason it's so important to become a person of interest, to have a skill that solves a problem, is pretty soon you're going to start opening the door to do partnerships with other people where you bring a skill and they bring a skill, and you put those two skills together to create something that you could never create individually. And you use this skill to get in front of their audience, and they use their skill to get in front of your audience, and you are marketing this, okay? So I go speak at something, I'm speaking to their audience. Their audience sees me. They go, we like this dude. He's got a different skill set. Let's hire him to be our coach. Now I've got a new client. Now the marketing is converted to customer acquisition. So through strategic partnership, think of these as feeder systems. These are feeder systems that feed you more people, and you don't need more money. You need more people because the people have the money. Another good book title. Would you rather have $1 billion or 1 billion friends? Okay. I'd rather have $1 billion probably. But with 1 billion friends, you should be able to make more than $1 billion. So when you think about it, I said this last week in a training, all your hopes, all your dreams, all your goals, all your ambitions, every house you've ever lived in, every car you've ever driven was paid for by other people. Every dollar that transferred to you and your business started in another person's pocket or in their bank account. And they transferred the money to you because why? Because you created value for them. How did they know about you? You can't be a secret agent. You can't not package your intellectual property. Like I would love, like the coffee company is products, not services. A book is a product. An online academy is a product. Coaching is a service. Okay. So you got to decide which vehicle you want to distribute your talents through that would get you to your financial goals that you could exit. Is it a product? Is it a service? Right? Is it a product? Is it a service? Okay. How are you marketing it? What's your version of what I'm doing tonight? Like I said, this will be seen by thousands of people before it's over with. On YouTube, on Facebook, we'll pump it out. We'll chop it up into little pieces. We'll use it as a promotional piece. We'll use it as an additional training. Our clients can go back and watch it. So marketing is distribution of a message. This isn't business. This is show business. Okay. Once you understand that, you got to, what I'm saying there is it's not fake. It's, you got to show people what you can do versus tell people what you can do. So let's look at our steps. First, we had to find our X factor. I gave you an assignment on that. 2, we got to package the X factor. You need to sit down and figure out how you would like to package this. Number 3, we need to begin marketing the X factor. You need to sit down and figure out how you would like to package this. Number 3, we need to begin marketing the X factor. And number 4, we need to get into the monetization of the X factor. Okay. So what is monetization? The exchange of money for value. I like saying it like this. The fundamental relationship says you have a skill and I have a problem. What is in between these two things? The concept. The concept pulls these two things together. Okay. Remember at night, I open my drawer, I see the magic of thinking big. I go, man, I need to think bigger. Does he have a workshop on how to think bigger? Does he have a training course on how to think bigger? The concept, which is why the Perfect Concept book is so important, pulls these two things together between the problem and the skill. Okay? So when you think about it, this is called the fundamental relationship, the relationship between your skill and my problem. Money changes hands when problems are solved. I could use my same skill in a different way. Remember, we call that baking soda. I could use my same skill to solve a different problem. I could use my same skill and be compensated in the vehicle in a different way, through equity, through partnership, through, right? So when you think about monetization of the X factor, I got to step back and I go, how do I generate leads for this business? I got to go back to marketing. I got to go back to packaging. I'm going to do webinars and we generate leads. I'm going to create a download and we generate leads. So I'll go to my team and I'll be like, look, I need a download. One of the downloads is the Pre-Drive Planner, right? This is how I stay activated. This is what I do every morning. This is how I get myself going. This is how I map out my days. That's a download. That little download has produced, I bet, 800 leads. I have to convert the lead to a sale. And the way I do that is by creating a concept that would solve a problem. And it's like, okay, I don't know my skill and I'm undercapitalized, man. I need to go spend some time with this guy who could help me. So I got to create the lead to a sale, to an engagement, to a delivery of something. Okay. So it's like, how can I generate leads for this business? How could I generate leads for this business? Okay. What could I give people that would cause them to spend some time with me on a Saturday night? Like, what problem is big enough that they would spend time to figure it out? Do they have a leads problem? Do they have a marketing problem? Do they have an engagement problem? There's only 3 problems in every business: leads, conversion, engagement. Just like Russell Brunson said, if you got a funnel that's not converting, it's the hook, the story, or the something, right? The invitation. So it's like, these are only 3 problems that people have in their funnels that don't convert. So when you think about it, monetization is, how do I create enough value that a person goes, look, learning under coach via these free master classes is not where it's going to be. I got to actually be coached by him. I need a coach. Okay. Now, if we go to the highest level, let's think monetization through bigger plays. I call this reputation to revenue. When you really develop a skill, guys, and you have properly marketed that skill, there's going to be people who come to you who say, look, I need your skill. And there's 2 ways to be compensated for that skill. I can give you a bunch of money. I can give you a piece of equity. High price talent is not cheap. So a lot of times, like, I can't pay you what you're worth, where your skill is. What I can do is exchange some equity with you, or give you some stock in the company, or whatever the case may be, for your skill set. Okay. I always said, if I quit doing what I was doing today and I quit running a coaching business, I would probably take my skill to $1 billion company. And I would say, I want probably privately owned. And I would say, I want to be the chief talent and development officer. And all I'm going to do is coach your people. And I want $2 million a year, plus a percentage of increase that I help the company get, plus a percentage of the exit if we help the company sell. And I think I could get somebody to take that deal. And I say that humbly, only because I've been doing this for 35 years. And I think I could, if all of my energy was focused on one company, I actually think I could help that company grow 30, 40, 50%, get a big exit, take a piece of it, okay, clock out, and go do it again. Okay, this is how I want you thinking about your skill. That is monetization through a bigger play. So when you're doing your A to B, and you're doing your big, I almost said big daddy moves. I don't know where that came from. Your big moves is like, what's the biggest problem I could solve with my skill? And who would compensate me the most money for that skill? Okay. Who would compensate me the most for that skill? Okay. So when you're thinking about it, guys, this is where the monetization takes place. All right. Now, this is a lot to absorb in one night. Okay. This is what I do in a lot of one-to-ones when people come and spend like one-to-one time with me. We kind of work through this formula, ask a lot of questions, extract this, open people's mind, draw up the monetization, and they walk out with a clear path toward how they're going to monetize the skill, because you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. So I really encourage you. The best thing to do next is, if you're in our coaching program, you obviously need to come to Nashville, spend the 2 days with me. It's actually 3 days. It'll be that Wednesday. We're doing proximity to power. Janet Krill and I will be doing proximity to power. Then we've got Todd Duncan, who's packaged his intellectual property for millions of dollars. He's got a company called Fuel now that will most likely be $1 billion company. Then we're going to go out to the lodge, which is about 40 minutes outside of Nashville, 41 minutes, something like that. And we're going to do 2 days of deep work on this. Some of you may need to do a one-to-one with me, which is spend 3 hours, 4 hours, and let's really get it right. I see so many companies that are highly talented, yet very undercapitalized. All of us are, including me. So the 5th and 6th is you could purchase tickets to that. You could buy the tickets. I think they're $9.97 for anybody who purchases tonight. And I see it come through. That's not a client of ours. We're going to give you an extra day on Wednesday to come spend the day with us at the Greatness Factory. Okay. The Greatness Factory Proximity to Power will be online and in person. It's 10 to 3 on the 4th. And then we've got Todd Duncan that night. Then Package Your Purpose is the next 2 days at the lodge. So I really think your next step is to take an action versus think about these things. Okay. And so I wrote in my notes, when it comes to reliving the pain, how long do you live undercapitalized, man? How many years have to go by before you go, I need to get this right? How long do you stay in the vehicle you're in that you can't make it? How long do you know you want to do something bigger, but you play small, right? You can't go big if little got you. So it took me 18 books to write a Wall Street Journal bestseller, mainly out of ignorance. I didn't understand the game. Once I understood the game, I made the book a bestseller. That generated 10,000 leads. If we can't generate whatever amount of money out of 10,000 leads, we don't need to be in this business. So it's like, how long did it take me in the coaching business to start thinking in quantum leaps versus incremental growth? And what had to happen in my life for me to get sick of it? It's like, when did I get fascinated with quantum leaps? And so my question to you tonight, as you watch these things and you have one of these 4 problems, you don't know your primary skill, you don't know how to package the skill, you don't know how to market the skill, you're not monetizing the skill, how long do you stay there? Okay. How long do you stay there before you go, who can help me? And what have I got to do to get in a room with the person who can help me? Okay. I think I would match up what we do on intellectual property with anybody on planet Earth. And I know there's other people that write books on these things. I'm telling you, there's nobody that's going to get you to monetization faster than me. Okay. Nobody. I don't care who it is. Other people, you're going to go through this big, long cycle. It's going to take you 2 or 3 years. You're going to pop out with the book. You're going to have no idea how to make money with the book. I see it every freaking day. With me, we're going to draw a straight line from your skill to a problem and how you can make money with that skill at an ever increasing level. Okay. That is something I would match up us with anybody on planet Earth. So this is your time, guys. This is your time. Okay. This is your time to take an action versus think about it. We got to quit. We got to get out of thinking, man. That is the graveyard of broken dreams. Thinking, stalling. This is just a hack, right, Abraham, that I've learned in my life. When you meet people who can help you and you know they can help you, move toward those people. Do whatever you got to do to get in. I remember when I went to Salt Lake City, Utah, or I just had to go to Covey's office and see where Dr. Covey worked at. I had to fly to Boston, Massachusetts to meet him. I had to fly to San Juan, Puerto Rico to meet Wayne Dyer. I had to go to Miami initially to meet Cardone. I had to do these things for myself, not for anybody else, but for me. I'm like, I got to go get in a room with this dude. I got to shake his hand. I got to get close to him. I got to observe his behavior. It's like, I got to get to the table. Right. Listen to the story of me and Price Pritchett. I went to his office. I scheduled a meeting. I went to his office. I sat with him for hours. We were complete strangers to each other. Right. So it's like when you see people who can help you, you got to quit watching from afar and you got to go, how do I get in the room and get close to them? How do they package it? How do they market it? How do they monetize it? Right? You got to ask questions. You got to come with batteries included. So this is like getting an MBA. The old days of going, to 6 years of college, and like I did, 9 years of university and 4 years at this degree. Guys, the way to do it today is like getting an executive MBA. It's like, I'm going to learn to package my purpose. I'm going to go spend 2 days with this dude, and I'm going to figure this out. So I invite you, 2 actions you can take tonight. More actions, but here's 2. You could purchase a ticket to come spend 2 days with me at the lodge. It's $9.97. I'm going to give you a 3rd day. You can come to the Greatness Factory on Wednesday, and you can spend some more time with us there. Come to Whiskey and Wisdom, or you could just say, I need to be a member. I've been sitting there watching this dude for years, and I need to go in and I need to do this. Coaching is engaging people in behaviors over a long cycle of time. Okay. So as Pritchett says, you got to get to the table. You got to get around the people at the table, and you got to get to a higher frequency. So great night tonight, guys. Hope you're having a great snowed in night. I'm Coach Michael Burt. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. And I do believe that there's millions of people who are highly talented, yet undercapitalized. And that breaks my heart. So part of my purpose and what feeds my purpose token bank is helping people, Stafford, take their skill, package the skill, market the skill, and monetize skill. And then they circle back to me and they go, thank you, I owe you. And that feeds me. So thank you for letting me live out my purpose, guys, and do what I love doing. Everybody needs a great coach in life. You guys have an incredible night. God bless you guys.